Hey guys, welcome to 2017, GamerZakh here, and as usual, this is my annual New Year's vlog. So, hope you're enjoying the new year, hope you're enjoying 2017. I know 2016 might have been a little bit rough, but we're gonna move on and focus on the channel and video games from now on. So, as usual, every year, I always have a notepad document open right there, and I'm gonna be just looking at, what happened over 2016, and some interesting points, and also what I'm looking forward to in 2017 and what I plan to do with the channel as we move forward. So let's get into it. A recap of 2016. In 2016, my channel got over 5 million views. That's insane. 5 million views, that's a lot. And it's a little bit up from 2015 where I got 4 million views. But minutes watched is a big thing. I got, in 2016, over 30 million minutes watched. I did the math, that's 57 years of people watching video. 57 years of my videos have been watched just in 2016. And that's a big change from 2015 because 2015 was up from 14 million. And in 2016, we got 16,000 new subscribers. Thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us here on this nostalgic PC channel with some new stuff thrown in. And that's up from 12,000 new subscribers from 2015. And here's something, I'm not sure if you've seen my tweet, but here's a big change from 2015 to 2016. In 2015, I got 6,000 comments. Seems like a decent amount. But in 2016, my channel got 43,000 comments. 43,000, and in 2016, I've been putting a lot of effort into responding to these comments as well. So I didn't realize it was that much more compared to the previous year. And of course, for likes, 2016 had 57,000 likes, up from 21,000 in 2015. And of course, 28,000 dislikes in 2016, just a little bit over double, or just about double, from 1,400 dislikes in 2015. Dislikes go with the territory, but I still consider that a very low ratio for like-dislike. So 57,000 likes, 2,800 likes. I'll take that. And besides that, I'm trying my hardest to be a bit more active on social media. I know a lot of you guys aren't on social media, and social media is sort of this side thing, but I really do want to run all of these avenues appropriately. So on Facebook, I'm trying to keep it at 2 updates a day. It doesn't always work, but 2 updates a day on Facebook, a few like 2 or 3 updates a day on Twitter. And of course, Facebook and Twitter are where I update about my live streams as well. So if you're looking for when I'm going to be streaming, do follow me on Facebook and Twitter, because that's where I update. I sort of do quick updates on Twitter and then major announcements on Facebook. Instagram, I've tried getting into Instagram. That one's a tough one. I'm just not that into it, but I don't know. I like sharing photos once in a while, so you can check me out on Instagram if you like. It's either pictures of gaming equipment, gaming content, or Callie the cat. Sometimes my food, if I cook breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I'll share a picture of that too. What else? Spotify. Spotify is something that, it's not really a social media, but it's something I've gotten into last year. And I have a Spotify playlist of GamerZakh's gaming faves, and you can go check it out. Just search for GamerZakh on Spotify, you'll find my playlist. It's a solid 2.5 hours of content, I think now. A 2.5 hour playlist, which I'm slowly adding to as I sort of curate what I really think are my favorite songs through gaming that are available on Spotify. And that's basically the recap of 2016. Civilization 6 was a huge thing. That was a huge spike, and then as soon as the game released, it sort of dropped back off again. I sort of rode the hype, I think, is what sort of happened there. But as soon as the game came out and everyone had access to it, the hype died down. It became sort of an okay thing to follow. And if you haven't noticed, over the past, through December, I've sort of been trying to reformat a couple things. So I'm trying to go a bit more legit for 2017. So for show formats and schedule, it's still a rough schedule, but show formats mainly. I'm trying to move away from sort of raw gameplay and to actually have purposeful, structured content. I know I've said this in previous years, but I'm trying to go even more in that direction this time. So for example, for city building, it's not just gameplay of me playing those cities. I've come up with City Building Doctor, where you guys can submit a city save file to me where you're having difficulty or you can't beat the mission or something like that. You can send it to me and then I'll fix up your city in a video. So I find it a lot more useful in teaching people how to play those classic city builders. And City Building Doctor is a format that I like how it's going out so far. I've got 2 episodes out so far. People seem to like it. I like it. It's an easier way to get some city building content out there. And for now, it's just the classic city builders. So Caesar 3, Pharaoh, Zeus, Emperor. But as I get into some other city builders as time goes along, I might want to expand it to newer games as well. And then Gamer Encounters. I've brought back Gamer Encounters in a slight different format, where I play a new game for less than 2 hours. And why 2 hours? Because that's the Steam refund policy. So if basically my policy on a game is, if it's not good within the first 2 hours, it doesn't matter as much how good it gets later on in the game, because if you have to torture yourself for 2 hours to get to the good part, that's bad design. So of course, with Steam refund policy, that sort of sets a time limit, and it basically gives all games a 2-hour demo before you have to commit to paying for it, which is very flexible. So Gamer Encounters is going to focus on that for now, where I encounter a new game, check it out for less than 2 hours, and if it's not worth it within that time, I'll probably put a poll on each of those videos asking you guys whether you think you should keep the game or refund it. And yeah, I think that's a bit more purposeful for Gamer Encounters, like whether you should actually buy it and keep it or try it out and refund it, sort of thing. Top 10s are going to be continuing, and as usual, those are top 10 lists. I like making those. They do take a long time to make, particularly researching, because if you get a game wrong in one of those top 10s, it's going to be a bit of a mess. People don't like it, but people never like choices in top 10s, do they? There's always, you always have your favorites, but as long as the reason why they're there is clear, then it should be okay. 1 Minute Gaming News has made a return. 1 Minute Gaming News. That's something I started, in 2013 in collaboration with Malaysian Gamer, and that was sort of an idea I had just to sort of force myself to keep up to date on what's going on in the gaming industry and stuff like that. And I've reformatted it, and I'm now working with, collaborating with Game Hubs, which is a Malaysian, Southeast Asian, sort of based in Malaysia, games journalism thing, where there's a website, you can go check them out, Game Hubs, and they sort of help curate the news content, and I list in the upcoming events, and I also sort of curate the news a bit as well, and just wrapping up what's going on this week and the coming week in a minute. It's something I find easy to make, and it's useful. So I like making that. And Abandonware Adventures is continuing as usual. Ever since getting the second monitor, which I've got right there, thanks to Patreon and you guys supporting me on Patreon, I can afford a bit of new equipment here. The second monitor actually unlocks a lot more abandonware. And just looking at what I've got lined up here, I've currently got Heavy Gear 2. I'm trying to get Empire of the Ants working, Mega Race, the first one, and Hyperblade. Those are the next 4 games I'm currently working on getting to run and seeing if I can stream those or at least record them, because the second monitor allows me to full screen the game, and usually these old games can't be in window mode, they have to be full screen, and even then it sometimes messes up graphically. But Dark Colony and Metal Fatigue worked out quite nicely, so I'm going to work on those 4 games next. Alright, and those are the show formats which are sort of a bit more solid now. New ideas. I'm thinking of starting a format where I take an old game and compare it to a new game, but the 2 games are sort of in line with each other. They're not necessarily sequels or spiritual successors. So for example, comparing Outpost 1 to Off-World Trading Company, right? If you know those 2 games, you know what I'm talking about. Outpost is this old game from the 90s where you sort of build this space base on another planet and you get the society going, and it's very tile-based and all of that. And it's very much, when I played Off-World Trading Company for the first time, the first thing I thought of was Outpost 1. And yeah, just seeing how games have progressed from the past into modern times, what's changed, what's stayed the same, what's better, what's worse. Because I do like taking old games and saying, hey, check this out. This was really cool. This was a good idea that we never use anymore. You see good ideas in old games all the time, particularly like Metal Fatigue, or even Trespasser, which I recently did for Abandonware Adventures. Trespasser, not the best game, but some very interesting ideas. And I think that's something we need to bring back in modern gaming. And I do want to make a bit more short content, short format content. So not hour-long videos or half-hour-long videos, things that are under 10 minutes, which is why I brought back the 1-minute gaming news. I'm thinking doing more tutorials, guides, how-tos, maybe not necessarily a series of things, but one-offs sort of thing. Maybe it could be technical stuff as well, like how I got this green screen working, you know, getting a really cheap green screen. As I've mentioned in the past, this green screen, the actual material itself cost less than $5. It's a bit of lighting, webcam, and it's surprisingly cheap. So I like doing like how to get the cheapest green screen ever or something like that. Maybe some of those technical things, and also tutorials and guides for games. A lot of people have asked how to install the widescreen mod for the classic city builders. I should do a video on that, right? You know, that would be helpful and not tricky to do. And a goal of mine for 2017 is to get into some collaborations. Now, I'm always open for collaborations, but I don't want to sort of rush or half-ass a collaboration. I want to do it with people I like, for content which sort of gels or at least has something to do with each other. There aren't a lot of local Malaysian gaming YouTubers, which have been going for very long anyway. I do have some friends on YouTube, and I might be collaborating with them soon. We'll see how it goes, but it's something I'm trying to do. Collaborations are never easy, but we'll see what we can come up with. And yeah, those are all of the formats and show ideas I have so far. Just sort of reformatting the channel to be a bit more legit, right? Making it a bit more proper, a bit more purposeful, a bit more structured. And I think it's gonna go okay. It's gonna take maybe a month or two to settle into these things, but I do want to move the formats I have forward and introduce new formats which don't throw away what I already have. I'm very much want to focus on nostalgic PC gaming, which is on my channel header right now, right? And in case you're wondering what nostalgic PC gaming means, it means that it's not quite retro, right? Retro gaming is something else. What I mean by nostalgic gaming is basically 95 to 2002, that sort of awkward phase of gaming, right? Where things are just graphically, they're experimental, mechanically no one really knows what they're doing. So that period is very interesting to me, and also looking at new games from this nostalgic perspective. So for example, like I said, playing Off-World Trading Company and thinking about Outpost 1 while playing it, and that sort of thing. Or I recently compared Trespasser to Crysis and Half-Life 2 because it's the first-person shooter with physics-based puzzles and stuff like that. Empire of the Ants, right? There's this game coming out called Empire of the Undergrowth, which I think is very much inspired by Empire of the Ants. And Empire of the Ants is like a 3D version of SimAnt. You know, it's sort of seeing this progression of games moving forward. How they're similar, like it's almost as if they're sequels, but they're not. I find that very interesting. And looking at new games from this nostalgic perspective is something I love doing. I love doing that. Anyway, moving on. I do have to give a special shout out and thank you to Patreon and the patrons who have been supporting me monetarily, because it's been a humongous help, because 2016 was the first year I was full-time into media content creation, right? On YouTube and in some freelance stuff as well. I've been doing that full-time for the first time ever in 2016, and it's been rough. Because I had to quit my full-time job. So I basically took more than half of my pay, my monthly income was gone. And that can be tricky, but I was sort of just about staying afloat with ad revenue and the freelance work and stuff like that. But thanks to Patreon and people who are very directly supporting me there, it's been a bit more flexible, you know, getting new equipment. I've got this acoustic foam. I'm not sure if you've seen that. If you check out my Patreon page, I've got like a little blog going there on updates on what I'm doing. Just over there and behind my screen over there. this 6.5 by 3.5 feet acoustic foam I got on discount, very cheap. Getting an extra light. There's actually a light here. You see that? There's a light behind me now to clean up the green screen a little bit. Had to replace my snowball microphone because the last one started malfunctioning. Yeah, all these little things. They're not expensive, but if I was just relying on ad revenue, it would be cutting into my savings and I'd eventually run out of money just to maintain my computer. I'm pretty sure my RAM chips need to be replaced within the year, I think. I think something's dying in my computer. So special thank you to Patreon and the patrons who support me there. No pressure, of course. I don't lock any content away. It's just, I want to say thank you. And of course, thank you to everyone else who has been watching. If you're watching right now, if you're still watching this video, thank you for watching this vlog. Thank you for wanting to keep updated on what's going on with the channel. And hopefully we're moving into a stronger 2017. Speaking of that, goals for 2017. I'm not looking to grow the channel huge in 2017. What I'm actually looking for is slow growth with a focus on community strength rather than numbers, right? Because, so for example, like the statistics I mentioned before, views from 2015 to 2016 was 4 million to 5 million views, right? For the year, right? So that's just a million extra views, but watch time doubled. Comments went from 6,000 to 43,000. Likes more than doubled. Subscribers is, well, that's a growth thing. So even though the views only went up a million, minutes watched, comments, and likes all doubled or more. And that's what I want. That's the strength behind the community, the strength behind you guys, where you're not just, oh, you subscribe, you watch a video, okay, leave, that's it. I want to talk to you guys. I want you guys to talk to each other, which is why I really was starting to get into live streaming regularly in 2016, because live chat, it's not just me talking to you and you talking to me like in a YouTube comment section. It's actually people talking to each other, right, in the live chat, and I can see that happening, and I like that feeling. So I'm sort of wanting to focus on that, right? Building a community a bit more. I'm not sure centered around what, centered around nostalgic gaming, I guess, which brings me to my next point for goals of 2017. I want to get into Reddit. I am not a Reddit user. For those of you who look at my links and are on Imager, you know I'm an Imager user. I go to Imager every day, and I have my translated top 10 list there. I'm glorious on Imager, if you just want to put that out there. Glorious. Not that it matters. It's fake internet points, right? So I'm very much into Reddit, but I mean I'm very much into Imager, but I want to get into Reddit, and it's daunting, right? If you're not into Reddit, to get into it, it's a bit daunting. So I'm trying to find a small community, maybe on retro gaming or r/retro gaming. I'm sure that's a community. Looking for a small community to sort of ease into what I like, and sort of get involved there. I don't want to go into like r/gaming. That's just going to be a huge community. I want something small, ease into it, try get into Reddit, see if I can, you know. I don't want to advertise myself on Reddit. That's not the goal. I want to be part of Reddit, right? I want to get into that community. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot. So I'm going to try to get into that. And just in general, last goal for 2017, well, generally speaking, is to stream more. I want to stream more. I might change my streaming schedule. Currently, for me, it's Saturday and Sunday mornings. I might be able to get a weekly, daily thing sort of going, but I gotta find the right time so it doesn't clash with things. Maybe I could try every weekday, Monday to Friday, but I might have to miss a day or two because my schedule outside of YouTube is not consistent, right? So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try stream more, just get more content out there, because especially since I've converted Gamer Encounters and Abandonware Adventures to live stream formats, and City Building Doctor, I do it live as well. So a lot of these formats I do live, and I like how it's live. The live chat sort of helps things along. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my vlog for 2017. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I will respond to pretty much all of them unless I don't get a notification. YouTube notifications sometimes messes up, but I'll try to respond to every single one. If you have any questions on what's coming up, on my opinions on things, whatever, just ask. If I don't want to answer, I just won't answer. But I'll acknowledge all of your comments. And yeah, that's it for the 2017 New Year's vlog. I had a great Christmas. Hope you had a great Christmas. Made a turkey. Look at my Facebook page. Put a picture of the turkey there. Mrs. GamerZakh and I roasted the turkey. First time we did it. I think it turned out really nice. Still eating the leftovers. Gotta finish those. They're gonna go off soon. Hope you finished your leftovers. Whether you were celebrating with friends, family, hope you had a great time. Whether you just stayed at home and played video games all day, that sounds awesome too. Into 2017 we go. Yeah, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!